Today, we're diving headfirst into an absolute emotional roller coaster. We're going to unpack one of the most intense, heart-wrenching, yet deeply inspiring moments in recent sports history. We're talking about the Buffalo Sabres' epic playoff run. It's a journey that culminated in a Game 7 that fans are literally going to be talking about for decades. So buckle up. We are going to explore the triumphant highs and the devastating lows of a season that completely redefined a franchise. But first, I really want you to picture the scene. The final horn has just sounded. A sudden death overtime goal has just completely shattered a team's championship dreams. The players are hanging their heads, looking at the ice. And yet, echoing throughout the arena is a deafening, passionate chant, "Let's go Buffalo." It begs the ultimate question, doesn't it? Why? Why would an entire city passionately cheer for a team that just lost the absolute biggest game of their lives? It's this beautiful paradox, and it's exactly what we're going to unravel today. To truly understand those cheers in the face of defeat, we have to look back at what this team just ended, a massive 14-season drought. 14, that's not just a number on a jersey. For Buffalo fans, that number represents 14 long, agonizing, genuinely frustrating seasons of waiting. A 14-season playoff drought. Imagine being a diehard fan in a city that absolutely breathes hockey. And for a decade and a half, April rolls around and your team's season is just already over. That was the immense, crushing burden the Sabres were carrying. And that massive shadow, that's what they finally shattered this year. And man, the sheer scale of their achievement before that final loss is staggering. This wasn't just a team squeaking into a wild card spot. Not at all. They roared to life. They won the Atlantic Division. Then they vanquished a massive demon by defeating the Boston Bruins in round 1, marking their very first playoff series win since 2007. They brought playoff fever roaring back to a hockey-loving city, and they pushed the Montreal Canadiens to the absolute brink in the Eastern Conference Semifinals. They didn't just make the playoffs, they completely owned the moment. Which brings us to the heartbreaking Game 7 itself. A night defined by a brutal multi-goal deficit and one remarkably quick whistle. Now, if you were only looking at the shot clock, you'd honestly think Buffalo ran away with this game. I mean, the Sabres absolutely dominated the puck, outshooting Montreal 39-25. Goaltender Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen was holding down the fort, stopping 22 of those 25 shots. But the tragic reality of hockey is that sheer dominance doesn't always reflect on the scoreboard right away. Despite throwing literally everything at the net, Buffalo found themselves staring down a terrifying 2-0 deficit in the very first period. But you know what? These Sabres had absolutely zero quit in them. Down 2-0, the tension in the building is unbearable. But then, period 2, Jordan Greenway breaks through and scores. And then, in the third period, Captain Rasmus Dahlin finds the back of the net to tie the game. The arena is shaking. The comeback is on. They keep pushing, they keep firing, and suddenly, Beck Mollenstein puts the puck in the net. It looks like they've taken the lead. But wait, the play is dead. The goal is completely waved off. And this moment perfectly captures the agonizing frustration of the game. A potential game-winning, series-altering moment simply erased. Coach Lindy Ruff stated, "I thought it was a little bit of a quick whistle because you can always go back and look at those, but didn't really get an explanation on it." Just imagine the profound disbelief on that bench. You've battled all the way back, you think you have the golden goal, and it's wiped away by a technicality. It forced them into the most anxiety-inducing scenario in all of sports. Game 7, sudden death overtime. Sudden death. One shot decides the entire season. The tension is so thick you can cut it with a skate blade. Buffalo has all the momentum in the world. And then, the puck finds Alex Newhook's stick. He fires it through a heavy screen. Goaltender Luukkonen is in a high stance, desperately trying to track it, but the puck dips. It dips dangerously right at the last possible millisecond. And just like that, it's over. The red light flashes. The season is instantly gone in the blink of an eye. That moment cemented a truly crushing weight of history for the franchise, 1-7. With that devastating loss, Buffalo is now 1-7 all-time in Game 7s. That's the second worst Game 7 win percentage in the entire history of the National Hockey League. Add to that the fact that they've now lost 6 of their past 7 overtime playoff games. It's a dark, shadowy historical hurdle that this franchise just cannot seem to clear when the lights are at their absolute brightest. But to really grasp the impact, let's step away from the ice and into the locker room to hear the raw emotion and regret directly from the players. Just listen to the words of Captain Rasmus Dahlin, who was involved in a turnover right before that final fatal Montreal goal. He said, and I quote, "Shit play. I don't even remember. That was on me. I can't do that." Wow, you can practically feel the heavy, unfiltered guilt pouring out of those words. A player completely exhausted, staring at the floor, placing the entire burden of a devastated city squarely on his own shoulders. It is absolutely heartbreaking to hear.
But the absolutely crucial point we need to make here is context. Yes, Dahlin took the blame, but we cannot forget that he was a massive reason they even made it to this spot. Dahlin racked up 14 postseason points. That is the third most by a defenseman in the entire history of the Buffalo Sabres. He was the engine pushing them through the physical and mental grind. I mean, he tied the game in the third period. One tough play at the end definitely does not erase a historically brilliant playoff performance.
And that unity, that absolute refusal to point fingers, it was perfectly echoed by star forward Tage Thompson. He said, "I don't think you get to this spot without a group of brothers that want to go to war for each other." There was just profound pride in that room. Through all the adversity, the early season struggles, the 2-0 deficit in Game 7, they fought through it together. They truly believed they deserved a better outcome, but they stood side by side in the defeat, bound together by the battles they had conquered. So, despite the pain of the moment, this season really was a giant step forward. It's time to start looking to the future. Because as the shock fades, we really have to look at the brightly lit, bigger picture here. Coach Lindy Ruff summed it up with incredible power and resolve. He said, "This is a giant step for us, a giant step for all the players to really get a feel of what it's really like. To be proud of being a Buffalo Sabre, to be proud of playing here. I think they made our city proud." And that right there is why the fans were cheering. The team gave them literally everything they had in the tank. They completely restored pride to the city of Buffalo. They made hockey fun again in a city that absolutely deserved it. So what should you take away from all this? Well, the 14-year drought is officially dead, the culture is rebuilt, the brotherhood is forged. Which brings us to our final question for you. Have we just witnessed the devastating prologue to the ultimate championship story? Will this bitter taste be the exact fuel Buffalo needs to finally capture the cup next season? Let us know what you think, keep your eye on this team, and never, ever underestimate a city that cheers in the face of defeat.